Hello, everyone, and welcome into our review of Blair Witch Season 1. I am Strange Tangent, joined by Red Panda. We just finished, actually, not that long ago, the final episode for Season 1 of Blair Witch. Right up front, I think, including the chat, definitely the case itself. So looking at the overall case, the case itself was very much good at building things up and leaving cliffhangers
and
on the end of each episode.
Were fantastic.
And the puzzles, absolutely.
I think there's one thing I would say just at the start of this, in case people don't watch the whole thing, and that would be, if I was doing it again, I think I would spend a little more time getting into the Blair Witch lore and watching the Blair Witch movies and understanding some of those nuances.
Yeah.
Because for some of the people who have seen that, I think they got a little more out of some of the story and the outcome.
Right.
Because they knew more about the Blair Witch legacy, which we don't really know as much about. So I think there was some of the deeper stuff that we didn't really kind of be able to latch onto because we just weren't familiar with the Blair Witch story overall. So
I agree.
I think that would have been the one thing I would have done differently, is gotten more into the lore side and learn more about like the real like history of the Blair Witch stuff prior to getting into this, just so I could catch some of those little Easter eggs and some of the smaller nuances that only the diehards would have caught.
Yeah, no, I agree. So I think overall though, while it was great on building up, I think overall definitely was great case. Just I keep feeling like the ending, without giving any spoilers.
It was like
on
this.
There was, the ending wasn't as satisfying as what we would have liked it to have been.
A lot of build
as far as closure goes.
Yeah.
There just wasn't the closure that, no matter which direction that closure would have gone, it doesn't matter. It feels like it just wasn't, correct, exquisite. It wasn't a satisfying closure after having so much buildup.
Yeah.
Whether, obviously with the case, without giving any spoilers other than what the, description of the case is about Liam going missing. And so, whether you, because they don't even mention in that he's dead or anything, right? He just goes missing. So whether, you're looking for that solution to be that you at least have the closure that you find out that he's been killed and then you can have a murderer, or whether the solution at the end is that you find him alive.
Yeah.
Right?
I think going into this, the first episode kind of quickly showed us this wasn't going to be real life in the sense of like living and dead. Like there were hints at like the woods being a little bit unique and some of the more, what I'm thinking of, magical elements maybe, or more superstitious elements to it. So like I think from the get-go it was kind of clear that this wouldn't follow the normal rules of like killer and detective, solved case, happy ending. Like I think it was clear that wouldn't be like a very linear storyline from the get-go. I do feel like every time I thought I knew what direction we were next going, it would be a curveball. The tasks at hand that we got given every episode were very like unexpected, but also very fun. They did so much back lore and backstory, include a lot of like older pieces of history that was kind of entertaining and fun. And the puzzles were all over the place. A lot of them were like really unique. Only one of the multiple ciphers we did I'd heard of before. And I did really enjoy, because like most cases everyone's got their own cipher type.
I feel like the ciphers weren't too terribly
They weren't nearly as bad as some of these other episodes
we've done. I mean, I can't remember what the rating was for this one on ciphers, but I think it's
like medium on ciphers,
because it wasn't cipher heavy.
No.
But
you need them to be able to solve the case.
But yeah, you do need to solve the ciphers. But they were fun to kind of solve because it wasn't like we were spending hours just sitting here trying to figure out a cipher. It
wasn't like that math one.
Yeah.
I don't know what episode it was from, but there was a math one that was awful.
If you enjoy the puzzle side of it and you enjoy the ciphers and you want something that you feel like you can actually accomplish it in a timely amount, I feel like these episodes went faster.
I do. I feel like the first three were a lot longer.
Yeah, and I think the first episode was definitely longest. I think.
Yeah, definitely.
And
yes,
exquisite.
I think you helped us understand a lot more of the back lore and some of the stuff that made it a little bit more special.
Right.
Overall, I really like some of the connections. Like one of the connections you made in the finale, I thought was really cool. I don't want to say what it was, just because again, it'll ruin some of the experience. But like, just some of those little connections. Like, it's so fun when the light bulb goes off and it all just makes sense.
Right. So and that's things. Yeah. So definitely exquisite, like what you said, of enjoying the puzzles and all the extra world building.
Yeah.
I definitely think like the notes and the notes from Carver, the notes from Liam, the notes from Rosemary, like just in general, like the storytelling of it, were really good. We were happy. If you are a fan of some tea, then there's definitely right. So, like in multiple other Hunt to Killer cases, there are some good fences things that you can read through and have some different, spilling of the tea,
which is kind of like next door, but like
their version. So, so all of that is stuff that you can find in this case. Overall, if you can, like, I would say my overall view of this case. After before I even give my overall rating on it, but if you do want to like watch our episodes of it, or if you do have the case and you're working your way through it and need some extra little bit of help on it, you want to see how we did it, I'll put the link up there in the corner for the YouTube playlist that this video will also be in, but that will allow you to see the 6 videos for the 6 episodes.
Yeah.
And they're not terribly, like we said, they're not terribly long. Like I think the last episode was only maybe an hour and a half.
They weren't as long as like Royal Street and some of the others we've done.
And our average videos in the past were 2.5+ hours on trying to solve stuff. So so this is definitely one that if you're looking for a case that won't take you as long to solve. I mean, ultimately, we figured out the rabbit thing very quick.
That
which
should have been a pretty hard puzzle.
Right, but we realized that, we had gone through everything anyway, though, even though we could have gone through that very quickly. Because that was only one answer. Well, right, but that was only one answer.
True.
Like, we thought we only needed the one answer.
There was, like, a lot of questions for the series finale. What they needed. We had multiple codes we needed to find.
So there's some things so there's some things like at the ends of each episode where you think like you probably could make it even faster, but the story building has really, really helped. So I
wasn't satisfied with the ending. There are many times I've not been satisfied with either an ending or just a movie in general. I still feel like I would have rated it at least a 2.5 to 3 out of 5, just because it did have a lot of really good storyline points, and it did pull you into the story. I think the
ending is what I think is
mysterious.
It
prior to this episode 6, I probably would have had it at a 3.5 or 4.
Yeah,
I think honestly about a star or a point got knocked off just because while they did a really great job building this over 6 months, like if we had been doing this like honestly as like a subscription where we were getting the box every month, I think I would be pretty annoyed because that's 6 months of your life where every month you're waiting for the box. And coming. For us, it's still about 2 months. We've been done it over 2.5 months, and that was still pretty decently drawn out. But like, if I had been doing this for 6 months and putting all that money and energy into it, I think I would have been more upset. Like, truly would have.
So like
it was.
Extremely put in that I just put it 5 out of 5 until the ending, and now she rates it a 2 out of 5. So overall, here's the thing. Like, yes, the ending definitely knocked some stars off at the end. But if you're willing to put that aside,
I still would have.
I absolutely like if you can manage to pick up the box set, if you can find it on sale, if they have it at one of the maybe they attend a convention that you go to and they have it there, or you pick it up secondhand, whatever the case may be, I would definitely recommend it. We got it on sale, so that's why I'm also not.
And if you really can't find it but still want to do it, we do go through the whole story itself, and so you could kind of do it with us, right? And kind of participate. You just won't be able to engage.
I would definitely say though, if you're looking at doing this case with people, it is a quick one. It's one that you can do quickly. Yeah, it's one that doesn't take quite as long, so it is a fun like short case.
I don't think I would do it with kids though. I honestly think I would do about 14 or 15 and up. I don't think I would do it with 13 or under.
No, I
personally.
agree.
I don't think. I just some of the storyline stuff gets a little darker and a little deeper, and I think there's some more supernatural or creepy elements to it that I wouldn't expect younger kids to possibly be able to
basically I would safely. Probably even equate it to like are you willing to let your kids watch the movie?
Fair enough, yeah.
Like if you are willing to let your kids
there's also some language.
Yeah.
So if you aren't a big fan of language or stuff of that nature, there is some language.
Yeah. So an Exquisite, that one on the one downside of the box set. So I don't know if that's because we bought it. I bought this one at a local convention that Hunted Killer showed up to. So I don't know if that's why.
The podcast though really was just going off of different like lores. Like they only like the Mothman was one of them. It wasn't all about Blair Witch specifically. Like they basically were just talking about different mystical or supernatural creatures. And so like it was just basically a way to kind of just like some of the past ones were like history on the town or like
But it is part of the world building, which is one of the things that like Exquisite was saying is one of the best things about this case specifically is the world building aspect of it. And so
there is definitely
those podcasts or those things in between the episodes are pretty nice. You can definitely tell that it was designed originally as a subscription box.
Definitely.
Where you would get the email before episode 1 with the podcast to help get you into it. That sort of thing.
Yep.
So I could definitely see on that end. I personally would probably go ahead and rate this at probably a 3.
I think it's cool they at least gave the transcript
by the end of it. Correct. Yeah.
I think that's pretty.
So I think at the end of it, I would probably rate it around a 3, maybe a 3.5. And really, I'm just removing the point because of the ending. I'm removing a partial point because of the podcast not being able to get those emails. And kind of going from there. I think I would be interested in season 2.
I am curious about season 2, but I don't think I'd want to get it.
I think that after this with season 1 that I would not want to pay full price.
That's what I was about to say. And I was like, oh, that didn't come out right. But yeah, it was just like
so I would still get it if I could get it if I could also get it on sale.
I can definitely see because that's what a lot of people
and do it with all of you where we can kind of go through it as well.
Yeah.
So
it'd be kind of interesting to see how the town handles the loss of the.
I mean, all of this does go. Okay, so all of this though goes into a caveat of that. Hunted Killer no longer does the horror series.
I think they only did Blair 1 and 2, and that was it.
And that was it. So
I thought it was fun to kind of like follow the townsfolk along, like all the trauma. The townsfolk had just been through so much.
So trauma. It may be something where if we do get a hold of season 2, that maybe before season 2. Maybe we do a Discord night. Maybe we try to do something that we, whatever the case may be. But like you said, before you do season 1, we recommend that you at least are a fan of or know knowledge of the lore behind Blair Witch.
I just think it would change the experience.
There was definitely some stuff that we encountered because I have not seen it, and it's been so long since Red Panda has seen it.
Like 20 years.
A couple of people in the chat had not seen it. That some of the stuff and nuances in the case were probably missed out on by us. I think it's similar to what was the Mystery at Hunter's Lodge, right?
Because of the Agatha Christie stuff.
Right. So because that was an Agatha Christie one, and I had never read those stories, there was probably several things that I missed out on little nuances that were paid as homage to that.
Yeah.
So So overall, I would say my rating probably around a 3 to 3.5.
I still would have done it if I had to do it again. I still would have done it. I definitely wouldn't have wanted to pay full price or had to wait 6 months to get to the ending.
Right.
I think that would have been hard. But I think as far as code breakers go, I think these codes are a friendly starter set. There are a lot of codes. I would say, again, medium level of codes. But if you haven't done a lot of the code breaking stuff before, some of the others are like super heavy or they're like 15 steps deep. These are pretty easy to figure out and do yourself or with a small group of people, no problem.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
It definitely made it faster when we had more people helping with the codes, though, because there are enough of them. There's not just one code per pack.
Yep. So I think we're all pretty much kind of around the same range. Chat was saying 2 out of 5 by the end, but 5 out of 5 throughout until the actual ending. And then, you were saying around 2.5, 3. I'm saying, 3.5 out of 5 tangents. Whatever the case may be. But so I'd say we're right around there in the middle range on this. Like we said, to kind of summarize it here for the end of this little review video, the major pros were the world building, the ciphers were fun to complete, the cliffhangers definitely had us wanting to come back to the next episode. I will absolutely say that. Wanting to know, like, oh man, like, what is this twist now? Whatever the case may, twist after twist on pretty much every episode, I feel like.
Yeah.
So it kept us wanting to come back and wanting more through it. I think that got us on such a high that then the con is really feeling like it's outweighing.
It built that story up so much.
It feels like that con is outweighing all of the pros, which is just how the season ended and not having much closure on it.
And I compare it with some of the books I used to read, Harry Potter and Hunger Games, same idea, just a massive build, and a lot of people just didn't feel like they got enough at the end.
Right.
It was just
right. So that's what. So that's kind of our review.
If you have specific questions, you can reach out to us via.
Yeah, if you're watching this on YouTube later, you've also completed this case. Let us know what you give as a rating down below in the comments.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Without try to avoid any spoilers if you can. But, feel free to just let us down below, like, how many tangents would you give, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 0.5, or whatever you want to do, if you've completed this case, or if you watched all the episodes with us, and you kind of feel, different, or if you feel the same, whatever the case may be, let us know. And then,
Or if you see some stuff that we missed, that'd be kind of fun to see if there's stuff we missed or that you caught differently.
Yeah, without spoilers, you feel like the movie had more of an ending than the case. Okay.
I honestly just remember it was terrifying and very traumatic, and I was like on edge, half covering my face the entire time.
Yep. So with that, I think that's going to wrap up our review. Don't forget to, as always, like, subscribe, hit us and follow us on all of our socials and join the Discord. So that stuff will be down in the description down below as well if you are watching this later on YouTube. I think that's it for that. And we did put this out, I think, at the end of episode 6. But if you're seeing this before you're watching any of that, as just a quick little reminder at the end of this, it's going to be a little bit before our next video. We've got a lot of stuff going on personal life wise that we're doing, and it is affecting a lot of things right now. So it will be a little while before we start our next case. We still got to decide what that next case is going to be.
There's a few options. We may have to poll everybody and kind of see what people are wanting.
Yeah, so throw that in the comments down below too if you watch this, what you think our next case should be. And we'll see if we have it, and we'll take that into consideration too. Yeah. So,
but otherwise, you could possibly join us because it may be a month or two. So maybe by then you'll have watched these and be like, "Hey, I want to do a set live with them." Because trust me, we need the help.
Right. For sure. We absolutely do.
It makes it so much fun to have everyone engaged.
Yep. So thank you to everyone for coming in and helping us with these episodes and inputting your thoughts and helping us with everything. We will catch you next time on when we have our next case available. So stay safe and stay strange. We will see you all next time.